Welcome to our exploration of forbidden foods in ancient times. In this video, we're diving into the fascinating world of food taboos that shaped the diets of various cultures throughout history. Have you ever wondered why certain foods were off-limits in ancient societies? From the sacred cows of India to the forbidden fish of the ancient Hebrews, these restrictions often held deep cultural, religious, or health-related significance. We'll begin by examining some of the most intriguing food taboos from different civilizations, uncovering the reasons behind these restrictions. You might be surprised to learn that what was considered a delicacy in one culture could be viewed as completely unacceptable in another. We'll also discuss how these ancient beliefs continue to influence modern dietary practices and restrictions. As we journey through time, we'll highlight the stories and myths that surround these forbidden foods, revealing how they reflect the values and beliefs of the societies that created them. By the end of this video, you'll not only have a better understanding of ancient food taboos, but also a newfound appreciation for the complexities of human culture and history. So grab a snack, if it's not on the forbidden list, and join us as we uncover the secrets of ancient diets and the reasons behind the foods that were deemed off-limits. You won't want to miss this deliciously intriguing journey. In ancient societies, cultural beliefs and traditions played a pivotal role in shaping food restrictions and dietary laws. Religion and spirituality were often at the forefront, dictating what was considered acceptable to eat. For instance, in many cultures, certain animals were revered and protected due to their spiritual significance. The ancient Egyptians, for example, held cats in high esteem, viewing them as sacred creatures linked to the goddess Bastet. As a result, harming or consuming cats was not only taboo but also punishable by law. Similarly, the dietary laws of the ancient Hebrews, as outlined in the Torah, prohibited the consumption of certain animals deemed unclean, such as pigs and shellfish. These restrictions were deeply intertwined with their spiritual beliefs, emphasizing purity and obedience to divine commandments. Traditions also shaped communal eating practices, influencing what foods were shared during rituals and celebrations. In many cultures, specific dishes were prepared for religious festivals, reinforcing a sense of identity and community. For example, the ancient Greeks often offered food to their gods during sacrifices, believing that sharing these offerings would ensure favor and blessings. As we explore these fascinating connections between cultural beliefs and food restrictions, it becomes clear that what ancient societies chose to eat or not eat was about much more than mere sustenance. It was a reflection of their values, spirituality, and communal bonds, shaping their identities and the way they interacted with the world around them. Join us as we delve deeper into these rich traditions and their lasting impact on food practices today. In ancient times, health-related reasons played a significant role in food prohibitions, as societies sought to protect themselves from harmful substances and foodborne illnesses. Certain foods were identified as toxic or dangerous, leading to widespread avoidance. For example, many ancient cultures recognized that certain shellfish could be contaminated with toxins, particularly in warmer months. This understanding prompted restrictions on their consumption as people learned to associate these foods with illness and even death. Ancient peoples had a surprisingly sophisticated grasp of food safety and hygiene, often guided by trial and error. They observed the effects of spoiled or improperly prepared foods and developed practices to minimize risks. For instance, many cultures practiced fermentation or drying as methods to preserve food, which not only extended shelf life but also reduced the likelihood of spoilage and contamination. The impact of foodborne illnesses on dietary restrictions cannot be overstated. Outbreaks of sickness would lead to communal learning, prompting societies to adapt their eating habits. For example, the ancient Romans avoided certain meats during warmer months, recognizing that heat could accelerate spoilage. Similarly, the Greeks were cautious about consuming dairy products that had not been properly stored. As we delve into these health and safety concerns, it becomes evident that ancient food prohibitions were not merely arbitrary rules, but rather practical measures rooted in a desire to safeguard health and well-being. Understanding these historical perspectives on food safety can provide valuable insights into how we approach dietary choices today. Stay tuned as we uncover the wisdom of our ancestors in navigating the complexities of food and health. In ancient societies, social status significantly influenced food availability and restrictions, creating a clear divide between the elite and the common people. Certain foods were reserved exclusively for the upper classes, symbolizing wealth and power. For instance, in ancient Rome, caviar was a delicacy enjoyed by the elite, while the lower classes had limited access to such luxurious items. This exclusivity not only highlighted the disparity in food access, but also reinforced social hierarchies as the consumption of rare and expensive foods became a marker of status. The implications of food scarcity and privilege were profound in ancient cultures. When resources were limited, the elite often hoarded food supplies, leaving the lower classes to struggle for basic sustenance. This disparity could lead to social unrest, as the marginalized populations became increasingly aware of their deprivation compared to the lavish feasts enjoyed by the wealthy. Food scarcity was not just a matter of availability, it was a reflection of the power dynamics that governed society. Moreover, food choices served as a means of expressing social identity. The types of food consumed and the manner in which they were prepared and presented communicated one's status and affiliation. For example, elaborate banquets featuring exotic dishes were a way for the elite to showcase their wealth and influence, while simpler meals were associated with the working class. As we analyze these social hierarchies and class distinctions, it becomes clear that food was much more than sustenance. It was a powerful tool for expressing identity, privilege, and power in ancient societies. Come along as we explore these intricate relationships between food and social status throughout history. Geography and climate have always played a crucial role in shaping food taboos across different cultures. Local resources dictated what was considered acceptable to eat, as communities adapted their diets to the environment around them. For instance, in arid regions where water was scarce, such as parts of the Middle East, the consumption of certain water-intensive crops was limited. Instead, people relied on drought-resistant grains and legumes, which became staples in their diets. In contrast, regions with abundant resources often saw a wider variety of foods available, leading to different dietary practices. For example, coastal communities had access to a rich supply of fish and shellfish, which were integral to their diets. However, in inland areas where seafood was scarce, these foods were often viewed as taboo or undesirable. This geographical disparity not only influenced what people ate, but also shaped cultural perceptions of certain foods. Environmental sustainability also played a significant role in ancient dietary practices. Many societies recognized the importance of maintaining a balance with nature, leading them to develop practices that ensured the longevity of their food sources. For example, some indigenous cultures practiced rotational farming or seasonal harvesting, allowing ecosystems to recover and thrive. As we investigate these environmental factors, it becomes clear that food taboos were not arbitrary, but rather deeply rooted in the realities of geography and climate. Understanding these connections helps us appreciate how ancient peoples navigated their environments and made choices that reflected both their needs and their respect for the natural world. Tag along as we delve deeper into the intricate relationship between environment and food practices throughout history. In this exploration of forbidden foods in ancient times, we've uncovered a rich tapestry of cultural, health, and social factors that influenced dietary restrictions. From the spiritual beliefs that dictated what was acceptable to eat to the health-related concerns that shaped food safety practices, it's clear that these ancient taboos were deeply intertwined with the values and realities of their societies. We also examined how social hierarchies affected food availability, highlighting the stark contrast between the diets of the elite and the common people. Understanding these historical practices not only enriches our knowledge of ancient cultures, but also encourages us to reflect on how they relate to our modern food choices. Today, we still grapple with dietary restrictions influenced by cultural beliefs, health concerns, and social dynamics. By recognizing the roots of these practices, we can make more informed decisions about what we eat and why. If you found this journey into the world of ancient food taboos intriguing, we invite you to subscribe to our channel for more engaging content. Don't forget to like this video and share it with friends who might also be interested in the fascinating connections between history and food. Together, let's continue to explore the stories behind what we eat and how it shapes our lives today. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video.